Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the Last Epoch. Let me try that again. Last Epoch dev stream. I know the name of my own game. Let's go. How's it going, everybody? As always, I'm your host, Mike, and we're gonna get going right away here. Woo-wee! A bumpy start, but that's okay. We're doing one more day with Void Cleave Whirlwind. Sorry, Warpath. That's the name. Oh, all over the place this morning. Feeling good though. Oh, as always, we stream for charity. Child's Play Charity is our charity this month. Last stream of the month for that charity. We'll have a new one in December. If it's your first time here and you have any questions for me, please feel free to ask them and put at Last Epoch Game in the question. And I'll get to them as soon as I can. And I totally remember what we were doing last time. Alright, we got our resistance ones here. And this is, ooh, yeah, we want the greater version of this. That's what I was going to do. Yeah, because we're doing a lot of void damage. But our big goal today is to get an exalted chest piece and make a legendary out of our chest. That's our like big goal today. I might switch to doing a few dungeon runs to help find them a little easier. Oh, we got our first question here to start things off. Looks like a long one. Any plans to redesign the Endgame Monolith map layout system? Not before 1.0, no. I was thinking something more specific, like when you interact with it, you press a button and can randomly roll echoes, then go into the game this way instead of having a map layout. This is my opinion, would look better and fit the game. If this was implemented with the other systems too, would be awesome. What do you think, Mike? Can you make the team members jump out of their chairs, showing them some illegal leak? No, I'm not. I don't have any illegal leaks. It's funny, what you're actually describing is the old Monolith system. So we tried that system, actually. We used to have it, and it was quite good, but it didn't quite have the, I don't know, like the decision making, the long-term planning in the endgame system that we wanted out of it. So that's why we sort of expanded the system to what it is now. I do have a couple leaks for you today. I'm not going to jump right into it that early. We've got some fun things today. We've got some leaks. We've got some keys. We have keys to give away. I have 2 keys to give away. Yeah. So we're going to do our first live giveaway on stream that we've done, which I think is pretty cool. So stick around. You might want a key. If you already have the game, you can still win. You can give it to a friend, and once multiplayer's in, you can play together. Which I look down at chat and immediately see when's multiplayer coming out, so that's appropriate timing. Thank you very much to Hariel for 19 months in a row. That's amazing. Wow, thank you very much. Very cool. Very cool. We're getting close to that 2-year mark for some people, eh? It's nuts. It's nuts to think about that we've been actively streaming it for 2 years. It's crazy. Gotta keep it going. As far as when multiplayer is coming out, unfortunately the answer is still when it's ready. I do have. I know there's. Oh, let's see. Do you plan to increase the amount of wolves you can summon? We need a true pack, Mike. Don't be so. There's probably not. There's a fair bit of volume, like a space that they take up already. You can get quite a few if you push for it, and part of the distinction mechanically that we're trying to have between Primalist and Acolyte, part of it is minion quantity generally. So it's a lot easier to get a lot of minions on Acolyte than it is on Beastmaster. And the Beastmaster minions are much more designed to stick around forever, and the Acolyte minions are much more designed to be a little on the expendable side, more of a resource than strictly a creature in play for you, a companion, a minion. I'd say it's unlikely we'll see 2 anymore. It's possible we might see like an item at some point that like bumps that number up 1 maybe. But it's pretty unlikely that it's going to go much higher than it is now. You can get the squirrel unique to convert your wolves into double the number of wolves as squirrels, though. So you can do that if you want to have just sheer volume. I know they still don't look like wolves, but maybe there'll be some way to fix that in the future. Who knows? How do we win a key for this game? When I start the giveaway, there will be a queue. I'll give a little bit of heads up for that, and when we do it, there'll be a little bit of time where you can input a specific string into chat, and everyone who does will be automatically entered, and whoever is randomly selected by a bot will get it. That'll be it. Any spoilers? No, I haven't hit any spoilers yet. Don't worry. So, ooh, Glyph of Despair. I'll take it. We take those. Also, I do apologize. This was previously asked, but any plans to add skin color changes to the character in creation menu? Immediate plans, no. Long-term, nebulous someday plans, yes. We'd like to add a full character customizer system. That's something that we would like. That would be sweet. We'd love to do it. There's nothing started on it yet. Usually this conversation comes up. The starting points, either skin color or gender, are the two common lead-ins to this topic, and it's the same answer regardless. Really, it's we'd love to. It's not something we planned initially. It's not something we are going to do for 1.0. It's a lot of work, and it does, like a lot of people, it's a big deal for. But it's just not something that we have the bandwidth to. It would push the launch of the game, and we can't afford any more pushes that are not necessary. You know. So it's one of those things where one day hopefully we can. There's a really big thread actually on this, on the forums that has a lot of details on like why and the history of it a little bit. It's quite lengthy, and it's more focused around gender, but really it's all one topic for us. All right. Dev, may I ask your name? Oh, my name is Mike. Nice to meet you. I'm Hampus from Sweden. Love your game. Thank you very much. We have a very storied international hockey history against each other. Big hockey fan, so that's... And our local team... the nearest major city to me. It's not really local even. I haven't really followed hockey too closely with the NHL a few years, but last time that I was really big into it, like late high school and early university, Sedins. Oh, they're amazing. If anyone out there doesn't watch much hockey but wants to see two people able to pass to each other seemingly telepathically really, really well, Sedin's just pretty hockey. Alright, is there a dev update that's coming soon? It's gone far too quiet. Yeah, okay, so we have... Let me get this right. I've got very specific wording for this time. Just a second. All right. So there was a little hint of a possibility of communication, official like document style communication. I know that this is official communication here, but not like it's not written out. It's not like hey, go read this post type thing. There was a little hint that something might be coming out this week. It's actually going to be coming out next week. It's not a full dev blog, but we will have, on Tuesday, we will be releasing a detailed timeline with specific dates for multiple events leading up to and including multiplayer release with 0.9. So next week, early on next week, we're going to find out all the juicy details that people have been asking me for a long time. That'll be great. So that's it will be like a there'll be a lot of details in there, but it will not be strictly a development details update. In sense, I don't think. Any combat feel spoiler for today? I've got some. I got not the same as the other combat feel spoilers that I've done before, but I've got something related. What about skeleton wolves? That's that blurring that line. See, one of the big things that we focus our like one of our main design pillars is class identity. That's one of the main things that we're like, okay, anything we can do to make these classes feel unique, distinct, visually, mechanically, thematically. We try and take those opportunities when we can, and really like gameplay comes first. But if we can keep like if we can have things to make them feel distinct inside of that constraint of gameplay comes first, we will. And so having thematic skeleton wolves is it kind of it doesn't change anything gameplay wise, so we probably would try not to step on the toes of the primalists that way of having those skeleton wolves, but you know, it's not impossible. And then there's also like the visual MTX stuff that can happen as well. So sometimes if there's something like that where it's in universe but it's not quite standard in universe, I want to say that's that style of things. It's a good candidate for a cosmetic MTX request, I would say. Stand down or die. I know that one's not in the pipeline yet, just for the record. Is there a timeline for skin MTX? Like are we talking like, oh goodness, skin MTX, like skin color MTX? Oh my goodness, Mike. Let's equip your gear. Let's zoom out. Let's not be an idiot. No, I there's nothing that's in there for that at the moment. Like the whole character customization thing, that's an entire system that we'd have to develop, and currently that's not one of the like categories for MTX that we're planning at the moment. Like these are different categories. I think that's all the categories. Yeah, so like all the gear slots, and then 2 pets and a back slot, I think are the and portal. I'm not sure what this slot is actually. That may have gotten removed. I just saw first time chat pay to win. No, there's no pay to win anything that's going to happen. We're really strictly cosmetic only on the microtransactions. There are no microtransactions yet, really. Well, I guess there's supporter packs, but similar. But yeah, when the cosmetic store opens, it is very strictly cosmetic only. And that includes pay for convenience items such as like stash tabs and things like that. And this is partially because the game does have a sticker price. It's a relatively low sticker price compared to games that I feel like are in a similar caliber to, and polish level to what Last Epoch has become, which is amazing. But yeah, it's because we do have a sticker price. The MTX is very strictly cosmetic only. Stand down or die. Any ideas when multiplied beta will be up, and will there be any way for like builds to coexist, like a supporter build to play with friends? Oh, okay. So you're saying yeah, so we know when multiplayer beta will be up Tuesday, so stay tuned for that information. And then as far as support builds to play in multiplayer with people, yeah, that sort of thing will be possible. You can already see builds like that you could make even right now with the abilities that are available. Like make a paladin, slap these 4 abilities on it, boom, you got a support class like drop shield bash and stun things, and you know smite has a heal associated with it that's sort of like goes unnoticed, I think, a lot, but you can focus in on that heal, and like get a surprising amount of healing there. It's like your smite, like there's a melee person in your party, and you're casting smite down around them, and it's healing them constantly. Like there's cleansing in here too. You get cleanse chance, so you can like get rid of negative effects on them, and like there's that's probably a bad one to do, but you know, like there's definitely already support style. Like this is very traditional support style. Stuff in there, but there's a lot of abilities that can be focused in on the support aspects of it, and that can go as far as like there's every class has things like that. Like I've played I tried to make Sivir from League of Legends, the old Sivir actually, because this is because I'm a dinosaur when I played originally Sivir, where it's like I was playing Chakram throwing rogue with I was using decoy and something else to cast basically haste on allies all the time. So I'm just like constantly hasting everyone around me, and we were just ripping through everything. And that's a very supporty style playthrough. Like I was making sure to shred as many resistances as possible, and so like it's this not support archetype, but you can make it supporty. For fun, and I think it's a cool way to do it. So yes, the answer is yes, you will be able to do things like that. The follow-up question usually comes from this answer is, are you going to have the Holy Trinity? Like, is it going to be content where you're like going to have to say like, okay, well here's the like tank looking for a group for this boss fight? No, it's we want you to be able to make your own party. A synergistic party is going to be the most important thing. So pure DPS parties that have synergies with each other is going to be very effective. And like builds that are parties that do have like that Holy Trinity, like tank support and heals DPS, sorry, is going to still be very successful, as well as if like you're planning things out and being synergistic. That's the really important part. Master Sword 1291, happy Thanksgiving everyone. Yet again, the time has come for some questions. Multiplayer when? Multiplayer will be revealed on Tuesday. The timeline for it. Will Last Epoch before 1.0 get an overall character animation recycle? No, I don't think so. I'm like, we've been slowly updating the animations on all sorts of things, all sorts of characters over the last few years, and I really like where they are right now. There's definitely there's a couple little ones here and there that stand out as being not as awesome. Every once in a while that gets noticed and then they get fixed, but it's for the most part pretty great, I think. With a way for builds to coexist like support. I think I already answered that. I get massive lag spikes when I use abilities like Acid Blast. The spikes tend to make me die. How can I reduce this lag issue? Turn on streamer mode. That'll help a lot. Likely what's happening is you actually, like, so I'm guessing, and I could be wrong here, but I'm guessing you have a very powerful CPU. And it's actually hitting, I could be wrong with this, but I think the situation is probably you have a pretty powerful CPU. And it's actually causing problems. Which sounds ridiculous, but it's what's happening probably. And turning on streamer mode in the settings will help with that. It's in the video settings, I think. Graphics, streamer mode, turn that on. Also, question, I made some changes to the stream settings between last stream and this stream. And if anyone was here last time, or comes to these regularly, if you notice a difference, positive or negative, please let me know. I'd appreciate that. I'm trying to hone those settings in, make it a little bit nicer. Yeah. We also have done quite a lot of performance improvements over the last couple years, especially over the last year, and so there will be a lot of performance improvements that come in 0.9 as well. Any plan for build closet lockers such like D3 as a switch between gear sets? No. We don't intend for that. I mean, okay, maybe for the gear, the big thing about the D3 implementation that I'd like to distinguish between and make clear that it's like not doing it because of this one reason is the skills. So when you do that in D3, it switches all your skills as well. Your passives, your active skills, the runes you're using, all of it gets switched. We might do it for gear. That's possible. It's not something we have planned. It's not something that's probably going to be implemented. It definitely won't be in 0.9. Probably won't be in 1.0. It's possible later on for gear, but not the skills version of it, because there's a respec cost, and we'd have to remove the respec cost first, and we don't intend to do that at the moment. All right. What about the skeleton warriors on horses for the acolyte? That's I mean, we're getting into cosmetic stuff at this point. Some like stall horses style thing, yeah. If you play Breath of the Wild at all, there's a stall horse pictured quest. It's got kind of like, oh, little Bowie boy there. All right, another question: wouldn't it be better to play the 0.9 by now? Even if it's the single player performance increase alone, sounds like they would be worth it. If it's feature complete to the point that it does not hurt. Yeah, the problem is that there's like elements of that releasing it early would be. There's problems in there. Unfortunately, we just can't do that. The short answer, really. Like, I know it sucks. Drop a bunch of these on the ground. We don't need these. I know it sucks, but it's just not something that we can release as like just this without releasing multiplayer stuff at the same time and not cause other problems. Like we could turn multiplayer off and just make it impossible to connect to servers and make a build and all that sort of stuff. It delays everything when we do that. What will be in the dev blog next week? So just to be clear, it's not a dev blog. I tried not to use the word dev blog. I don't think I did, but I may have. If I did, I'm sorry. And all I can really tell you about that is there's going to be details about we'll be releasing a detailed timeline with specific dates for multiple events leading up to and including multiplayer release with 0.9. That's all I got for you on it. I mean, the big piece of info that most people care about, I think, is it will have the 0.9 date. All right. Oh, patch notes for 0.9. Definitely not patch notes, no. Alright. Hi, small fan of Last Epoch here. Hi, Tyrion. Could you please explain sextant blocking? You know, we decided to remove sextant blocking from the game. It was just, we've been getting so many questions about it that it was causing problems. It was just so, we're getting tickets all the time. And it was too complex of a system that we figured we'd simplify it, and we've removed the system, but we're adding in a new item that's going to take its place. So don't worry about that. You'll still get the same effects of sextant blocking. It's revolutionary. It's called a shield. It's wonderful. Running out of stuff to say to those questions. All right. I would love to see something where I can plan a build or use one from online so I can see the plan progression track for quicker allocation. Not Alt-Tab. I think Dota 2 is something like this. Yeah, we've talked about something like this where you can, whereby you could like import like a build in here, and it would like flag certain nodes and be like, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this. There's sort of there's a danger there. And it doesn't make it out of the question or anything like that. It's not something that we've got planned right now. I'll say that. And it's that new players will quite frequently, and this kind of happens anyways. So is it worth not bothering? I don't know. The point is, what happens is, oh, Quiet for me is resub 10 months in a row. Thank you very much, Quiet. Welcome. Glad to see you here. I feel like I haven't talked to you in a while. It's been a while since I talked to you. Hey cutie, hope all's been well for you. Yeah, it's been great. Life's been good. Hope you're doing well too. I was talking about something. I was in the middle of something. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. Like a thing built in, so you can just be like, follow a build. Like you download a file off of some website, and it's like maybe just a text file, and the game like reads this text file, or maybe it's like built into the game. You can share things in the game, things like that. I don't know exactly how it would work, but having something in here. Or just a system where you could plan it out yourself, even where you could be like, I'm gonna plan this, and this, and then you can, as you go, you can just fill in the ones you've planned, and you don't have to like rethink about it each time or have something else you all have to check. And there's a lot of great things about that, especially in the usability and the accessibility for doing this, especially if you're not playing every day and you forget what you planned and things like that, so you don't make mistakes. There's a lot of great stuff there. The big downside, and I guess the fear around it is that you end up not reading what the nodes are, and you end up playing a build where you're like, I have no idea what this does. And it's funny because like right now I'm playing this build and I didn't make this build. Someone else made it for me for the stream. I have no idea what this build does, and I know I'm not playing it optimally because of that. And just like going through and like having that process of reading all the nodes and learning everything that you're doing is an important step in having a better character, being more powerful at the game, like being better at the game, having a more powerful character. That a lot of that comes down to execution, and a lot of that comes down to knowledge and understanding of what your character is and can do. So there's a little bit of hesitancy there, I want to say. But at the same time, like, there's a lot of upsides to it as well, so who knows. It is a good suggestion. I do really like the idea of it. Okay. Is cosmetics paid to get? That would be a huge turnoff. Man, not sure how it will be, but maybe unlock cosmetics through endgame activities. We do want to have the primary means of gathering cosmetics to be through the shop, the NTX shop. We do have plans for ways to obtain specific MTX through certain other methods. So whether that's like some of those can be in-game things, those can be out-of-game things even too. They can be things like, oh, you came in the top 100 of this ladder season, therefore you get this special cosmetic footprints that follow behind you as you walk. Something like that. So like for basically achievement recognition, cosmetics is something that we do want to do and add in. But the primary way will be, like, most cosmetics will just be, you gotta go to the MTX shop. I've not been paying attention to which modifiers I've been taking here, and I've just noticed a huge spike. Enemies gain frenzy and haste when hit. Oh, when did I do that one? It's getting scurry. As we get further up from the center, it also gets more dangerous. So I might have to scooch my way back to the center a touch here. Yes, Xander the Fleming on Reddit, it was mentioned that EHG was hoping to get a communication update out this week. Is it still planned, or is it delayed to next week? Yeah, so that was the goal. We didn't quite get things squared away in time for this week, and it will be next week. So we'll be Tuesday. Lots of info Tuesday. Are there any holidays in Eterra? Oh, I bet there are. There's got to be, right? Like major events, like the downfall of certain immortal beings, maybe the I don't know, the overthrowing of certain corrupt government systems, and things like that. I can see those being holiday-worthy events, right? Oh, that's a spicy floor. That's a spicy floor. That guy was just full of spice. He just like couldn't keep the spice in. Spice was everywhere. Ding ding ding. Oh, I gotta level up. I gotta level up. Get more health. Pew, pew, pew. Can you please do the spoiler? I'm on vessel. I need to wake up at 5 a.m. How about this? How about this? I will do a key giveaway right now. Oh wow, there's something in my foot. Oh my god. I don't know how I didn't feel this sooner. Ow, that hurt. It's, I mean, you can't even see it probably. Didn't show up on camera. This is my foot. It's the length of my index fingernail. Oh my god. Ow. Let's just put some tissue paper on my foot so I don't bleed all over the floor. And we're moving on. All right, let's do a giveaway. Oh, let's make the word. Just going easy. Okay, so we've got anyone can enter. I'm going to open this up. If you want to enter, please type the word awesome in chat. Just awesome. That's it. Yeah, I see people showing up. All right, people are doing it. There are 2 eligible users right now. I'm sure it's going to spike any second. 54 eligible people. Yeah, all right, it's going up. It's working. Totally tested this out beforehand, not just doing it live. I swear. We'll give that a minute. I don't know how to pick someone from this list. All right, Nightbot. How do I pick one of these names? Oh, it actually picked someone. It picked the very first person to put the name in. Okay, I just see that now. That was like 2 seconds into it. How do I have it roll from everyone? I'm sorry, whoever that was. Does this actually do it? Okay, it actually rolled from the... Okay, we got it. I figured out how to do it. I just hit roll right as the very first person and just gave it to someone. I've done it now. This is it. It's over. It's closed. I got it. I apologize. Oh, let me see what I can do. Okay, because I'm incompetent and didn't know what I'm doing. I'll get an extra one. Billy, I'll hook you up. Don't worry. Don't worry, I got you, buddy. Anyone who can get keys and is in here, can I have a third key, please? And I'm sorry. All right. Emmy, no parade. Congrats for winning the key. And Billy as well, because I don't know what I'm doing. Congrats for winning a key. I'm doing it. There we go. I'll do another one later as well. We'll do a third one. Let me try and message you. Oh boy, Mike's all over the place today, isn't he? Mike knows what he's doing. Totally, completely. Oh, guys. We'll get there. I'll figure it out. I'm gonna take a breather. I've got both your names written down. I've got it. Don't worry. I'm on it. I'm all over it. All right, let's get some more questions here. Will you add an extra speed mode in the menu settings like Titan Quest received for the anniversary edition? An extra speed mode? Probably not. I did not know Titan Quest had speed modes. I haven't played it much though. I played the Switch like re-release of it, which was pretty sweet actually. Go libraries. If you have a local library that rents games, surprisingly awesome way to try out games. Highly recommend. It's hard. Sometimes they only have like one copy, and there's like huge wait lists. I know I've gotten on like I'm like number 150th on the wait list. All right, I don't mean to release it. Just play it on stream. Oh, play it on stream. Yeah. I really want to do that, and we're actually pretty close to being able to do that. I think. So I think we'll be seeing 0.9 streams soon. I think. It's my hope. It's my goal. It's my dream. I'm assuming this is meant to say ever regretted picking Unity over Unreal for an ARPG? No. There's a lot of things that go into this question. I've answered it so many times, but no. Just short answer is no. I think Unity was the right choice. Hey, do you feel the affix damage taken on mana before life is balanced? I was thinking about theory crafting a flame reeve build, and since mana is so limited, I'm afraid it's not something viable. Anyone tried something I'll like? Yeah, there's lots of great stuff. There's builds that use that for sure. It can work. You can't take the like all the mana cost increasers at the same time, which a lot of they're really tempting to take as quite often they're just like damage up, mana more, and you're like, or no cooldown, mana more, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna take it. You can't really take those with that, but it works. Ba-ding. Do you ever think about moving game files over to Unreal Engine 5? No, I'm not doing that. Any multiple updates? It's taking quite a long time. It is taking a while. No details that I can share really. We're still doing CT testing. It's working great. Things are trucking, moving along. Alright, hi! Inexperienced accountant and long-term Bernie Madoff admirer here. How is the financial side of the thing looking? Are you bootstrapped or debt financed or even VC backed? Are you net positive in cash flows, or will you add loot boxes later to get sick returns? Ooh, that was a nice helmet. We're doing fine. That's all I can really say on the matter. I'm not super in deep on all the financials, so I don't really have a lot of that information to share. I know it's a bit of a joke mixed in with the question there, but I know we're doing fine. And the question that came up, I think last week was, is there any chance of like financial issues causing a release not to happen or anything like that? No, we've got runway for well through launch, no problem. So we're fine. All right, Spring and Spring Festival. Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. I always want to do like non-world festivals and holidays. So like having in-game versions of holidays that are like, they don't have to be related to anything in the real world at all, but just, yeah, I don't know. I really like things like that, so I like it. Will there be any other class locked weapons like bow? I mean, so bow may or may not stay class locked long term. And it is possible that we could add more weapons that were designed primarily to be used by one class and might even be non-functional in other classes and may even be locked still. So all those things are possible. Not a bad chest. Well, it's the Nightbot stuff. Oh, I just saw Emmy said that they have the game ready so we can roll it again. Well, you know what, Emmy? In that case, I'm just if you want one, I'll give you one. But I'm gonna give the one that I did have marked for you for the person that I accidentally rolled initially. I'm gonna figure this out 1 second. I'm sorry. Here we go. Yeah, Figment. Why can I whisper? Come on. Streamlabs. How you mock me so. There we go. So I'm just recording this. All right. We're back on track. Here, let's take a little breather here for a second. It's just I don't know if this has been shown or not yet, but they gave this to me to show, so I'm going to show it anyways. This is a side-by-side comparison of an enemy that's in the game right now and a revamped version of it that we have coming out for 0.9. This is the Temple Guardian, that like statue that comes alive and takes you out, or tries to. Are you happy with the planned release date of the multiplayer patch? I mean, I think everyone involved, myself, everyone on the team, everyone who's playing the game would have wanted it to be sooner. Like would have wanted it to already be out by now, you know, that sort of thing. So like, there's a small amount of disappointment there, but I am really happy with how this is all gonna work out, and like having gone through this. And if you told me 2 years ago this is what would happen, I'd be a little upset. Now I'm not upset about it at all. I'm quite happy. I think it's all going to be worth it, and I think that there's going to be a really nice. It's going to be a great game, and that's the most important thing. Is we're not building this game just for launch day. We're building this game for years from now to still be something that we're playing, having fun, and enjoying. And you know, one day I can show my kid, that sort of thing. You know. When is skins gonna release and what's patch? I think this is like when's MTX coming and when is the next patch going to be? So the same time, and I don't have a release date for you just yet, but we will find out on Tuesday. All right. Let's get back to a little. Let's ooh, and get this chest before I'll take a shard. We'll take a shard. No problem with that. Just a little bit bump up their damage. Sure. All of those spoilers you've been showing for combat and art, will those be in 0.9 or will somehow come later on? No, everything I've been showing is 0.9. All the stuff that's on there's a sweet thread on our forums that has like just all the spoilers compiled into one place. It's crazy. Andrew Silly, community member, did all that all by themselves. And all those things are 0.9. Will multiplayer just be multiplayer, or will there be extra content for older players to play? Being a bit stale, so asking if something you could look forward to. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff coming in the 0.9 patch. It's not just multiplayer. So like, a lot of the developers that are like the coders, I want to say, have been working really hard making like building the backend system for multiplayer, and have been like building out the front end systems for it, and like lots of design work that's gone into that, and changing certain things to work in multiplayer nicely, and all that sort of stuff. But the all of the like game design and the entire art team has not stopped at the same time. So there's still a lot of other things that are going to be coming, and there's a lot of little things. Like a lot of little things that initially, like, you say them and you're like, okay, yeah, great, but it has a surprisingly large impact on getting that overall quality and overall just fun feeling up. So I guess what I'm talking about mostly here is little things, even just like there's an entire pass been done to every single skill and every single skill node and passive node in the entire game, to make sure it's working, and to make sure that the wording is clear and consistent. And so just a lot of those like, hey, does this work with that? And like, I don't know if this node's actually doing anything. Questions will hopefully just go away, which is great. There's a lot of nodes that we found in that. I know I mentioned this last week too, but there's a lot of nodes that just like weren't scaling with the number of points invested. So just like a single point's the same as the full 5 points. And so there's like those 4 points were just doing nothing. So there's some builds that'll get buffs from that in general, which is funny. But yes, there's also there's a little bit more uniques coming. There'll be like updates and changes to skills. Should be some new skills at that point too. There's a lot of stuff. Ooh, go for the spare. Nice. It's the second one this time. It's 2 back to back, actually. Nice. And yeah, so there will be stuff for returning players as well. Also, just like, multiplayer does change the dynamics a surprisingly large amount. Alright, maybe put the info that news is coming next week into the title or command so people can just dive and get that info. Yeah, it's true. I probably should do that. This is why I'm a developer that streams and not a streamer that develops. Here, can I just do this? Text. Tuesday, November 29th. Can I just do this? Can I just... Oh, goodness me. Oh, I can't believe you've done this. Oh, no. Give me FFFFF. There we go. Why is it so tiny? Is it even there? I'm trying to put text on the screen and it's just like not having it. I'll do it. I'll try and do it during the next thing. All right. All right. Looks like we have another key coming, which is great. What's going to be your first class build when you play 0.9 and why? Great question. This is interesting because I have been playing multiplayer a bunch already. I've just been having so much fun with the rogue in multiplayer, so I want to just say that because that's what I've been playing the most. I'm just having so much fun with it. But I kind of want to try something that's like just weird and probably shouldn't work to kind of mess with my friends when I'm actually playing with them type thing. At the same time, I'll probably be something supporty, honestly. It'll probably be like a support acolyte. Be like, yeah. Steve is coming in clutch with an additional key. We got this, guys. We can survive with Mike's incompetence here. No problem. People to bail him out. Lovely. Lovely. Alright, anywhere. You're getting a key whether you like it or not. You can do what you want with it. I hope you're there still. Got one more for later, don't worry. All right. Let's get some more questions. I'm slacking on the questions, so I apologize. Wait, will multiplayer delete my old characters? No, however, you won't be able to play your old characters in multiplayer. Which I know is a fine distinction, so you'll still be able to play your offline characters offline, but you won't be able to play your offline characters online. And currently all the characters you've made are offline characters. So if you want to play online when 0.9 releases, you will need to start new characters. Which I know is a fine distinction at best. Don't forget to put at Last Epoch game in the question if you're going to ask it, so I know to answer, please. And we got, will it ever release on Xbox? That's possible. It's another one of those like, oh man, we'd love to release it on an Xbox someday. A console release in general is something we are working towards. It is not an immediate plan. It's not going to be a 1.0 release feature. Oh, it's actually pretty decent. Oh, did we do it? I think we did it. Oh, it's actually... oh my goodness. Check the hole in my foot. Ah. It's not gross at all. All right. Is it useful to let everyone know where you are in the development of Dragonflight? When different builds hit We're transitioning away from spending the majority of our time on the design iteration of new talent trees, and now we're primarily focused on fixing bugs, tuning the game? Huh? Oops, wrong chat. Okay. I'm like, doesn't seem to be about our game, I don't think. We'll see. Okay, we're going straight to Temple Sanctum. We're going straight to Temple Sanctum. There we go. Full steam ahead. Activate. You missed the giveaway. You missed one of them. There's gonna be another one. Don't worry. Don't worry. Ooh, can you talk about new skills coming? I don't have any details on possible new skills coming yet. Sorry. What level is 41? Oh, we can do an easy one. I'm gonna do this one because I'm weak and scared. Can I like heal myself for a little bit here? Just there we go. No problem. Okay, what have I missed? Sorry I'm late. Oh! Well, if you're not going to show up on time, what's the point, Aaron, huh? Huh? You missed a giveaway? You missed a leak? You basically missed the whole stream. Nah. I don't know how far behind I am. It's probably, you probably didn't miss any of that. Use 32 plus font on the notepad. Why do I typically throw in window capture? New window capture. Yeah, okay. That's a good idea, actually. I'm just like, there's a text thing in Streamlabs, and it's just like not showing up. Ah, I've realized my mistake. I've detected the problem. I can fix this. I can fix this. I'm just a noob. Oh, look at that. So easy. I knew it was that easy. There we go. How's that? Alright. I may have typed the font or the text that I wanted to say in the like text box as the name of the source that I was adding instead of actually typing it in the text box field. So I'm like, make it huge, and it's like, what text? There's no text here. But we figured it out. Alright, are you aware of the bug that happens with loot filter? Probably, where the emphasized feature, yeah. I am aware of that. I think it's fixed. Be a pretty big one not to get fixed. I'm pretty sure it's fixed. If it's not, it's on the list. What's up, fellas? What up? Hello, any plans for reworking Shaman? Like, the core class mechanics in fantasy is, I think, really strong, and I don't want to take anything away from that, but I do think that there is room for, or necessity for, having some pretty big reworks on specific skills that are shaman forward, shaman focused, and maybe not a rework, but just like a buff on a couple of them. It's less of a rework and more of a buff on a couple skills, and then a rework on one. So it's not, I wouldn't say a shaman rework, but it's a big enough change that it will end up feeling pretty fresh. So yes, but actually no, I don't know. Let's get into the next one. What is this? Golden weapons? I mean, it's not what we want, but we'll take it. Was the price increase on Steam communicate? Okay. Was the price increase on Steam communicated? Been waiting for sale, and Alien went up in price in Steam autumn sale. So we did not increase the price. First off, the region specific price. So Steam has an option where you can put region specific pricing on, and we've turned that on. And there is usually the US pricing is the most expensive pricing. There's usually a couple that are a little bit more. And so there's a couple regions where it is more expensive very rare. And what happened recently was Steam changed a lot of the regional pricing scaling for all of its games across all of Steam. And honestly, it just sort of happened, and we just got all of our regional Steam pricing set to default, which is just whatever Steam says is the right thing. We just say, okay, thanks Steam, that's cool. So basically what this does is it makes it cheaper for people that are in countries where it's a little bit if it's more expensive generally to buy games like this. It kind of scales the price to match the local economy a little bit better. And I'm really not sure of all the details on why this change happened, or like what happened with it or anything like that, but there was some reason why a lot of regions had their, maybe not a lot of regions, at least some regions had their prices adjusted relative to the normal price. And now, so we didn't actually change the price of the game, but in a lot of regions the price did go up because of the Steam scaling. Now we do have the opportunity to override that pricing in regions if we want. I don't know if that's been discussed or planned or anything like that, but I think what it is we're just like saying, because we're still selling it for, like, on our website it's full price no matter where you are, which is because that's a little trickier to do the region stuff on a website like that, because Steam just handles it all. So we've kind of just said, hey Steam, whatever you think's best. And it's a really unfortunate situation. And I kind of hope it just gets self-corrected, but I don't think it will. And I'm not sure if there's anything we should do about it. It's kind of, this one's sort of above my pay grade, you know? But that's the situation on what happened, at least. What was the question? Yeah, and we're trying to avoid too many sales before we go to 0.9 as well. If we don't get like 4 exalted weapons, I'm gonna be just totally miffed. Hey, I was wondering, how does Ravaging Aura from Void Cleave scale? Also, is it safe to assume that the sub-skill scales the same as the main skill, if not explicitly stated otherwise? No, it's not safe to say that. If it's like attribute scaling, yes. Because, and this is the part where I'm going to say something and everyone's going to go, what? That doesn't make any sense. No way. It says it right there. Sub-skills do not use attributes to scale, ever. So let's go into Void Cleave and find Ravaging Aura. Down here, because I have it. So if you hold Alt on a skill node that has reference to another skill, it doesn't have to be a sub-skill, but reference to another skill, it should bring up a tooltip that will tell you this information. And so scaling tags, it has Void Spell, damage over time, instant cast. Now, it won't actually bring up the attribute scaling here, which is interesting. We probably did that intentionally. So these are the scaling tags. So it scales with void damage, spell damage, damage over time, and if there's some, so instead like instant cast spells do more damage, it would scale with that too, but there isn't that. And as far as attribute scaling goes, all sub skills inherit their attribute scaling from the parent skill. And this is different than triggered abilities. And I know it seems like it's really similar, but it is technically a little bit different. But the so the attribute scaling that it gets from Void Cleave. So Void Cleave has increased damage from strength and vitality. So Ravaging Aura. So when you use Void Cleave, the game goes, okay, what's your strength? What's your vitality? We're gonna give from me right now, I'm gonna get 272 increased damage, 272% increased damage on Void Cleave, and so the ability Void Cleave gets the stat 272% increased damage, the exact same as if you had an item that just said 272% increased damage. And then any sub skills that Void Cleave procs carries the stats that Void Cleave already has. And so one of those stats is 272% increased damage. So in a way it scales off strength and vitality, the Ravaging Aura does. But really it's just inheriting the increased damage that Void Cleave already has. See that purple chest piece? Oh, we'll show it as soon as I'm going to use it. Impossible. Nothing's impossible. Okay. I should get a question here. Game takes quite a while to start up. Might be an issue with my end, but if not, is a part of the optimization thing to come. If you've got, there's not a lot of startup optimizations happening. Oh, come on, get out of there. There's not a lot of startup optimizations happening. There are some things that we're trying to do to streamline that a little bit better. We've been moving to different asset storage systems internally that make the loading a little bit faster. Oh, I did it slightly too early. Not good, Mike. That's where you guys get to just shout noob at your screen. Would not be wrong. The future cannot be denied. That was close. Use anomaly, just get the buffs. Oh yeah, why was I not doing that? Well, there's nothing to use anomaly on, but there is. It doesn't matter. If you've got your system on an SSD, the startup time should be relatively decent. If you're still having bad times starting up with an SSD, there might be something else going on there. Hopefully startup time improvements will help, but there's not a lot coming in that category. Sorry. I'm trying to answer questions while doing this, and Yes. I failed you, I'm sorry. It's okay, I forgive you, Aaron. I've detected the problem, Hebcack, yep. Except you've got the K and the C backwards in the Pepcac there, Llama. Oh yeah, I have an actual question. Woohoo! More often than not, when you travel through time, you get the Stargate animation. Yeah, Stargate! Then a loading screen. How come the Stargate doesn't coincide with the whole loading screen? Great question. It actually used to. However, they're doing full asynchronous loading. This is one of the things that's really hard to do in Unity. Doing full asynchronous loading is really hard, and you get this stuttering that happens. And we had that visual, and the stuttering was happening, and people were like overwhelmingly, we were just getting reports all the time, being like, my game's crashing, like the stutter happens, and then people just like Alt F4 immediately, or like, it was a little less stable, they stuttered, they'd Alt Tab, and then it actually would crash, and it was just like all these problems that were happening, and we just, as soon as we took that out and made it be 2 loading screens, which feels not great, like crashes went down, reports went down, maybe it's like better now and we can go back to it, but that's what happened. Okay. Is there anything here? That's actually nice. Anything we want? Ooh, the ward retention's kind of useless, but the healing effectiveness kind of meh. So that's pretty good there. Melee cold damage on that staff, not bad. Not great. Not great. That's okay, though. We already have what we want coming into this. Okay. Our notice is going to go away for a minute because I got to flip myself over here. We're going to craft this because we're going to make a legendary Titan Heart. Are you friends with the devs at GGG? I'd like to say so. I don't think I know them well enough to be considered friends. But I friendly with. You know, we've a couple calls with a few of them, and it's been like just like sitting around talking about games with old friends. That's what it felt like when we did talk to them. Yeah. So, like not specifically, but yes. Okay, I think we chaos this. And just try and get something else. We don't care about Shield Rush at all, but we don't have enough. It's too high of a tier to reliably pull it down. And we don't want to just nuke a random one off of here. Because I really do like the void damage taken as physical and just like get rid of your void res. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's try to seal health regeneration. Love it. Let's try and discover something new. Love it. Armor and armor. Okay, armor's great. Armor's very strong. Did we just get 2 crits in a row? That was great. That was great. Should we split it just so we have a backup? Just in case. I know it's not that amazing, but I'm reckless. Alright, here we go. Gonna make our Titan Heart. Really just anything other than the reflect is fine. Anything other than the reflect. Will NDA be lifted around the time of 0.9 release so we can plan party builds with friends? I don't know when the NDA will be lifted. I suspect it'll be before 0.9. That'd be my guess. Oh, I missed one here, sorry. I missed a couple questions. Oh no. I asked this a very long time ago, but is it possible to make Diablo 1 style grandfather swords, where it's a two-hander that acts like a one-hander? There's a lot of things in our system that make it very difficult to the way that the handedness of your swords is set up, it doesn't actually know what the sword is or what abilities it has, so it's really tricky to do. It's not impossible. There'd be a fair few changes that would have to happen, and it's something that could happen. I suspect if we were to do something like that, it would coincide as a mechanic with a new mastery class that made a lot of sense to have it. That would be my guess. Are there any plans to increase options for UI customization or moving frames to different areas? I only have one eye and prefer to keep things further left of my screen to help ease eye strain. Wow, cool. We don't have any plans for that right now, unfortunately. We are kind of lacking in the accessibility options category at the moment, and we do have plans to beef those up. However, we don't have any plans for UI customization like that just yet. I do think it's an interesting thing to do. There's so many subtle things that go into the UI customization that's really important. Like, yeah, I'm gonna put you out of your misery and see what this is. Of course, I got so lucky with this one; it had to be bad, right? Okay, little things here. I need to put myself back over here. Little things. So we have this view materials, and this opens here like this, and see it lines up here, so you can see your whole inventory and all of these because you open it from your inventory. Now, if you have this open, and you view your materials. See how it lines up on this edge here, so you can see your whole crafting panel in this. So it's a really subtle difference, but because I don't have a ultra wide monitor, it has to pick sort of one side or the other to scooch over to. And it's, if you have your crafting window open, it actually just forces it to the crafting window because it figures that's what you're doing primarily. And there's a lot of little subtle things like that. That are really tricky to do when you have when you start letting people move stuff around in their UI, and there's lots of room for problems. And so the anecdotal thing that I like to mention when this comes up is I was playing, this is 6 months, a year ago now. I was playing a version of WoW, not the normal WoW, but it was like the raid finder tool was in it, and I had put UI mod on the map that cover, like, the circle for this UI for this other mod that like lets you activate the settings for that mod was perfectly covering the raid finder button, and I could not find the raid finder button, which is also the like button that lets you portal to people in the part in the dungeon. I was just trying, like, I was like level 20 and trying to do a dungeon for the first time in like 10 years, and I'm like, I can't remember how to do this, and I just like couldn't find it. So I asked people in the party, I'm like, guys, I can't figure out how to portal to you, and they just like laughed me out of the group. I'm like, yeah, that's warranted, fair enough, I get it. I'm like, whatever, it used to be top 8 in the world ranked Warlock, but you know, whatever. For like an hour. Anyways, point is, there's pitfalls with allowing UI customization, and it's probably not robust enough to add those in just yet. Move another one. Goes on the ground. Bye bye. So I threw it on the ground because I'm an adult. All right. Moving on. Would you be able to play your offline characters really offline, like without internet connection? Because right now it requires login. We do have plans for offline. That is actually set up and functioning in our internal builds right now, where you can not have an internet connection. It will still let you in to play offline characters offline. Alright. Are you adding new totem skills to improve totem playstyle overall? I don't see much synergy between those that are in the game. Don't be wrong, there are some builds that it could be better, in your opinion. Yeah. There's a bit of lacking when it comes to sorry, I'm just chucking some stuff because I need to make some room for this. Tiny little key. I hate that it does that. Oh no, that's not okay. Kern Zombie. I don't fly around here. Too much. Alright. Do you think there'll be any... Oh, it's synergy. Totems. Talking about totem synergy. That's what I'm doing. Sorry, I got distracted. Totem synergy. Yes. That's kind of what I was trying to hint at, touch on a little bit here. When I was mentioning about, maybe not reworks, but like adjustments and things like that. Yeah, there's... I think there's also there's an ability missing still in Shaman. I'm pretty sure Shaman's still missing an ability, pretty high up one, if I remember correctly. That's nice. So like whether that's, and I think you're right. I think totems are an underrepresented synergy style and also just ability style in general. There's probably could do with another totem in the game, or an ability that specifically synergizes with totems, something like that. So like there's that missing ability, and like a Tempest Strike rework, that final Shaman ability, and maybe like a couple buffs to Storm Totem maybe, and like you've basically, I wouldn't call that a Shaman rework, because like the core functionality stays the same and the core like theming stays the same, but like it would be a substantial like usability and power increase, I think. Maybe call it rework. I don't know. These terms are so fluid and so like, where's the line on them that it's hard to define them sometimes. But yeah, you know, hopefully that answers it. Do you think there'll be any nerfs from all the skill passes the team's been doing? Anything major? There definitely will be nerfs. There's always nerfs. Anything like really dramatic? I don't think there's anything that I've seen so far that was really dramatic. I don't think you'll see any builds that were like able to do empowered monoliths relatively easily vanishing. Hopefully that assuages any fears on the topic. Yeah, get that cooldown. All the cooldowns for Mike. All the cooldowns for Mike. It's actually interesting the way we do cooldown recovery as well. Something that most people might not realize, or maybe you do, I don't know, but cooldown recovery is not really a stat in the game. And like we worded it a little bit differently because it actually functions a little bit differently than typical cooldown recovery. And that's why sometimes I'll like break out the acronym ICARDS, increase cooldown recovery speed, because it's a little different. Actually, we want to be in here. Helmets. Yeah, fair enough. All right. Do you think there will be any will Last Epoch be remastered in 2025? No. We'll keep releasing new content well through 2025, though. How tempting is it to buff the builds you play the most? Honestly, it's... I think there's a temptation to buff builds that you want to see function and that don't quite function nicely. So, example I'll give of this is something that I've been playing, like you mentioned, so I've been playing Rogue a lot in multiplayer. And I've been trying to make Ballista work in, like, leveling and getting into Endgame is just, like, an ability that you're like, I'm gonna be a Ballista Rogue as, like, my main thing. And, like, I'll do other stuff at the same time, but, like, that's my main primary thing. I'm gonna, like, do Ballista and, like, Dark Quiver because there's some synergies there. And then, like, I'll get, like, a bow attack to kind of go with it that I'll use to, like, apply ailments heavily or something like that to, like, make my Ballista trigger better. And like, you do things like that. You find synergies of, like, you're shredding armor or shredding fire res so that your Ballista does more. And there's, like, little things like that you try and do. And it just doesn't really work. And so there's a temptation to, and I think actually a good argument for and reason to buff that build, and buff that situation. And I think it's important to try and, not go overboard in a situation like that. But if there's something cool that you're trying to do that doesn't work, other people are, I think, likely trying to do that cool thing too. Alright, continuing the sub-skill scaling question. If you take the Void Knight passive Renouncement, does the Fissure from Smite now give flat damage scaling from Vitality? Whatever Smite scales with, the sub-skill scale with. So, let's go find this. EK passive Renouncement. Renouncement, Vitality plus 5. And Smite scaling is attunement and Smite void spell damage per Vitality 1. So yeah, so Smite scaling gets attunement. So I actually have this already, don't I? Where am I? So yeah, so we can see Vitality scaling gains 30 spell void damage per point. Or 1 per point, sorry. 30 total because I have 30 Vitality. 30 per point would be unbelievably overpowered. Oh my goodness. Anyways, yes, so any sub-skills then cast by Smite have plus 30 spell void damage, I'm pretty sure. Oof. Because it's flat spell damage, there might be a problem there. Oh, Fissure doesn't have the... Oh, these do, though. That's a mistake. Okay, here we go. So, Fissure's a damage over time ability. This is interesting. This is actually showing the attunement scaling. Okay, so it doesn't have... attunement scaling. The reason it's okay, here's what's happening. So because these tooltips don't actually update with how you've spec'd other things. So you may notice that there's the damage per second 78 here, mana cost 28. Like nothing on this tooltip changes based on the stats you have, actually, except for that very bottom line attunement scaling thing, which unfortunately is like the one thing that isn't actually affected. So it tries to mimic, because Fissure is cast by Smite. The default scaling that Smite has is increased damage per attunement. Likely, I think it should be. And so what we do is we try and put the same scaling on the sub-skill as the parent skill, such that you see it and you go, hey, it's got the same scaling, so I guess it scales this way. And it does, effectively, because it inherits that scaling. But then as soon as you convert it like this, it doesn't have that same scaling. So this 28% increased damage does not actually apply to Fissure here. And because the flat spell damage with Smite is flat spell damage, it does not apply to the damage over time effect either. So suddenly Fissure becomes way worse. That's what's going on there.
Stand down or die.
So yes, it does have it, but it doesn't do anything, so it doesn't matter that it has it. Alright. I guess November 29th will be a stream. No. There's going to be a document released on the 29th. No stream. Why can't you seamlessly enter an area? Why should there be any loading screen? Is it because Unity limits your creativity, or is the game design challenge? It's none of those things, really. We have to. There's a lot of technical reasons why we have to do this. I don't know all of them off the top of my head by default. The primary one is likely just the having too many things loaded at once. That's really the thing. Computers wouldn't be able to handle it if you try and load that much stuff all at the same time. We try and make zones as big as possible, so there's as few loading screens as possible. But it is, it's unfortunate. It is very unfortunate. Let me go through here. Come on. We're taking another crack at the. Oh, if I get reflect twice in a row. It will be frustrating. Well, if that's the case, I hope the Stargate animation gets removed, frankly. Yeah. That's not an uncommon feedback that we see. I think I'd like to see a setting to be able to turn it off, personally. I think it actually adds a fair bit to the feeling, the theme, the storytelling elements of like something major is happening right now. I think the ideal way would be to have it be seamless and show the time tunnel. And then as soon as it's finished, my goodness, where are these? They're so far away. There's one. Have it show the time tunnel and then immediately just be like, that's the loading screen. That would be the ideal thing, and that would be nice to try and get in still. All the questions, I just saw like 5 questions about multiplayer. Look up there a fair bit. Lucky crits, it reminds me we will ever have the option to stop crafting crits from happening somehow. Oh, I'm in the boss fight, aren't I? Wow, I'm really far behind. Oh my goodness, we're gonna do a speed run here on some questions. That may have been a huge mistake. We'll see. Nice. Turning off crafting crits. It's pretty rare if you're in a situation where you don't want one. It is possible though. I don't know. I could see there being like a, let's say like a glyph you could do to be like no crits, but something else happens or something. But I don't think that's probably what people want, really. I don't know. The fact that there are unwanted crits seems more like a problem with the mechanics of the system as a whole than something we want to fix with a setting like that. That's my initial reaction. All right. Thanks to the key devs. Oh, I almost just died there. You're welcome. I will give the key to my son for Christmas. Will mean a lot to him. Thanks again. You're welcome. I'm glad it will be played with and enjoyed. The whole point of the game, right? Oh, where are you? Oh, let's go. Let's just go. Gotta get those, right? It's fitting that jeweler can't be anomalied, right? Yeah, got that culling off. Oh, not too bad there. Not too bad. Yeah, gross. I don't like the wand. I know what it is. Will we be able to use MTX for the 100% offline mode? So if you're 100% offline, no, because you won't have any way to validate anything. None of the MTX will work in 100% offline mode. You can be in offline, you logged in offline mode. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to work there. This is all the stuff with like the details on when MTX is going to work is still subject to change. But right now the plan is if you're not signed in, you won't be able to use your MTX. And if you are signed in, whether you're playing offline or an online character, you should be able to use your MTX. All right. Round 2. Don't fail. If Reflect is so bad and you guys don't want to make it actually good, why not just replace it with a fun ethics and move it all together? I think it needs a buff, and I think it is fun. So I'd prefer to, you know, leave it in there. This has probably been asked and answered, but first time since catching the stream, are there plans to add new characters over time or just new subclasses? There's plans to add both over time. Did you buff Silver Frond for the work with CDR or lower the dashes on it for multiplayer? Otherwise, Spriggan will lag behind in parties where all other classes combos can get their movement skill below 5 seconds. There's there's some pretty wide sweeping changes that will that'll affect everyone's movement abilities and the cooldowns therein. Not really super dramatically, but the goal is to kind of just nudge the slower ones a little bit up and nudge the faster ones down a little bit. Just nudging them in those directions, and then increasing the impact of gear on in the whole equation, such that you have a little more agency over where they are. And so I think what'll happen, and we're still working the numbers a little bit, I think what'll happen is if you've made a similar investment to cooldown recovery that you have already made on movement skills, you'll have extremely similar movement speed, cooldown reduction, or movement speed overall with your movement abilities for most movement skills. And then, especially the faster ones. The faster ones will change almost nothing if you make a similar investment gear-wise. And then the slower ones will probably be a little bit better with a similar investment. And so the ones that are probably a little bit slower now will probably benefit better from the cooldown investment. I'm being pretty vague about this because the details aren't locked in place yet, but the goal is to kind of make it so that people are not so we don't run into a situation where it's like, okay, well, if you want to keep up, you better play a rogue, or if you want to keep up, you better play a sentinel. That sort of thing. We want to avoid those situations where people can play any class they want and still have the option to go as fast as classes that currently are a little bit faster. And we also want to bring a little bit of that a little bit more of the improvements to the speed you're traveling at into your gear as well. Just trying to give those nudges to make gear a little bit more important in general. I know that's not the category that people usually talk about when they talk about that topic, but I think it's relevant. These are not massive changes. We're talking in the fractions of seconds range right now, overall. Like, all said and done. There's, like, several changes that, like, when you combine them all together, it's fractions of seconds for most abilities. Some of them, it's, like, basically nothing. Alright, up to now, what do you think the hardest part of the game to develop? The hardest part. I mean, develop multiplayer. Oh, yeah, develop multiplayer. No question about that. So I don't even know why I asked multiplayer or why I hummed and hawed. It's like so far beyond everything else. I've combed over the forums a few times to answer this question, but I haven't ever found it. Are there higher chances to find uniques with legendary potential from the dungeon, not just temporal boss drops? No. The legendary potential, there's, apart from the temporal sanctum guaranteed boss drop to have legendary potential on it, apart from that, which is the only time that happens, the only thing that affects the legendary potential of a unique item when it drops is the level of the zone that you are in when it drops. And I should qualify that by saying the level of the zone for certain zones is scaled based on your own level. So if you're using a Rune of Ascendance at the end of time, I'm like 99% sure it uses your character level as the zone level. I could be wrong. Like 99% sure that's right. I'm pretty sure Rune of Ascendance just uses... I think Rune of Ascendance might just use your character level no matter where you are. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But yeah, if you're ascending items, you should do it on a high level character. Unless sorry, caveat there. Unless you're looking for a specific unique that is lower. If there's other at a lower level when you're ascending items, you get the you can cut off certain uniques from being rolled, because if you're too low level, you can't roll the high level uniques with a Rune of Ascendance. So if you want a specific low level unique, use a low level character. Oh, it's a little complicated. One thing I love about Titan Quest is the way you enter seamlessly into areas and dungeons, etc. Yeah, it's pretty great. There's only one thing that can cheer me up. There's only one thing that can cheer me up, and that's a giveaway. And that's a giveaway. All right. Okay, I think this just works. Okay. Using a standing desk? I am using a standing desk. I can do things like this. Woo! Woo! Oh, Heavy! Thank you! 521 subs to the channel. Congrats to everyone who got one of those. Ooh, Andrew got one. Nice. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And to commemorate this, we're going to start with a giveaway. So, I think this should work, because I don't think I needed to press the button last time yet. Please type reflect into chat if you would like to enter the giveaway, and oh my gosh, I hope it works. It's working! Yes! Oh, I understand how the giveaway system works. Oh, so good. Okay, we're gonna let that run for a minute while I try and catch up on a couple questions here. Hello, is a PlayStation release in the plans? General console release plans from earlier. Yes, I'd love to do one as soon as we can. Controller support needs to happen first. Full release needs to happen first. After that, we'll look at it. I think we could do great console release. I think it'd be awesome. This is not a question, but I just wanted to say thank you. Say that you did an awesome job with this game. Thank you. Appreciate that. I haven't had an ARPG have my attention like this since I first discovered PoE during Legacy League or D2 when I was a teen. Yes. Can't wait to see where it goes over time. I also played D2 as a teen, to my parents' dismay. I actually recently told my mom that I would like get up in the middle of the night to play Diablo 2 on the family computer in the living room when this is I'm old enough that like you had a family computer. Not everyone had their own computers or everything, and the person at the computer store had told her that the computer was not designed for playing games, and she took that to mean if you play games on it, you're gonna wreck it. She didn't want to wreck her computer, so she's like, "You can't play games on my computer." And I'm like, "I know better." Yada yada yada. I'm gonna do it anyway. So I'd like get up in the middle of the night and play it, and I'd like hide the game in the computer and. Yeah. That's why I slept through first period of all of grade 12. Dodge. That's right. I had a cool physics teacher though. He said as long as I was getting an A, I could sleep through class. So I worked hard, got an A, and slept through first period every Wednesday, Friday morning. You mentioned wanting to make the grind to 100 a little longer. Will that be happening at 0.9? I don't know if that change has actually happened or not. And just to be clear, whenever this question comes up, I want to qualify this by saying that it's the tail end of that. So it's that 95 to 100. And it's not a huge stretch, but it's just drawing it out just a little bit more because there's so little power that comes from that, and we want it to be more of an achievement to hit 100 instead of right now where it's a little on the easy side. Okay. We've got a lot of people that are eligible here. I'm going to roll it. Are you ready? Hoojay! Congrats! Hoojay, you have won a copy of Last Epoch. I hope you enjoy it. I know you will. What were the first two that I gave out? Go. I wish I could just send you a message from here. That would be so nice. Chat? Oh, I can do it this way. Nope, this is to Hoojay's chat. Mike. Hoojay, can you message me, please, in Twitch? Hoojay, if you open a message with me in the next 5 minutes, I will send you a key. All right. Did I catch up? I basically caught up, didn't I? I basically caught up. So good at this, guys. So good. Is multiplayer finally coming? Check the top of the screen and you will see the information about when we'll find out about that. Yeah! Twitch keeps wanting to block the term just GZ. Regrets. No, I think it's okay. Will you add new bosses in the game? That's my name, Billy the Bully. I don't think so. But, keep the dream alive? I don't know. You did not win, Aaron. I'm sorry. Sad day, sad day. Hoojay, I don't know if you realize you've won. But you've won, Hujie. You have until 48 minutes past the hour, at which point I will pick someone new to message me directly. Whisper. Whisper. That's the term. Whisper me. Whisper can do it. What a phenomenal game. Talk about remakes done right for a second. Just want to touch base here. King's Quest is a game that most people have never heard of these days. Oh my goodness. It's this old point-and-click adventure game that is just so full of charm and wit, and it's just glorious. And it's I'm sure some of you are like, yeah, I remember playing that when I was like 5. It's the greatest thing ever. But like, yeah, I never finished it. It was so hard. And they recently re-released, it was, I don't know, 5 years ago now. They remade the game. They remade the whole series. They did 5 episodes of it. And, oh, they did such a good job with it. Oh my goodness, they did such a good job with it. And it's it's got Vicini from Princess Bride, and I'm just determined to prove how old I am today, aren't I? And he does such a good job. The writing's phenomenal. The gameplay's fun. The puzzles are neat. The King's Quest series always had this like sort of esoteric nature to the puzzles, where you're just like, that's ridiculous. Like, no one would ever think of that. That is unbelievably insane. I can't think of a good example of that right now. I probably should be able to, but I just can't. And there's cheeky nods to that in the remake, but it's much more accessible. It's definitely a modern game. And it's great. Highly recommend. Play more LucasArts, but Sierra does it too. Yeah, LucasArts. So many classic LucasArts games that are just wonderful. There's lots of, if you enjoy that type of game at all, random side mention, I guess. There's a Mostly Walking is a web show where they play old school point and click adventure games. They do a great job. It's Day 9, and a couple of his friends from college. They do a wonderful job. Which dungeon are you giving away keys for? Nice. All of them simultaneously, because I'm giving you the ability to find them yourself. Something fish, something day, something fish for a year. I don't know. Alright, will we be able to hover over an affix in the loot filter to show details similar to when we see in the crafting inventory when we hover over a shard? This can be applied to. Yeah, I think that's a really good suggestion. We've had that sort of type of thing on our radar for a little bit, as a potential feature upgrade for the filters, because I think that's a very good thing to put there, because it does have a reference to what the shard is at that point. So it should be able to get that tooltip information and displayed. It's just a matter of inputting it, like setting it up to work, really. It's getting warm in here. This happens every time, doesn't it? Some people watch with audio off due to lurk while working. Might be easier to tag him in chat to tell him. Oh, good idea, Quiet. This is why we have smart people around here. Just gonna give him a couple things here. I might roll another one in a minute. Alright, Warlock won't be void or minion or transform, thinking like weakened plague bringer. Just give a wink and a nod. I tried. Did I do it? I think I did it. As a Cyclops in disguise, winking's so difficult for me. Leaks, more, leaks, more, leaks. Okay. Here's just a little clip. Just a little clip showing off some new buff VFX on the Sentinel Boy. Just a few abilities and how they look. Drink lots of water. This is your daily sponsorship by water. Not a sponsor. Some high quality H2O. Just some little. There's various effects happening here, different abilities. Nice little. Oh, love it. Little subtle one. That's it. Minion health. Don't need it. Pass. Okay. You know what? I have not got a reply from Hujay yet, sadly. We're well past the time, so I'm going to re-roll it. I apologize, Hujay. I hope this wasn't a big deal for you. We're picking a new one. Water sucks, Gatorade is better. Love it. Alright, here we go. Round 2. Spellworm! Congratulations. I hope you enjoy it. Please message me, Spellworm. And I will... Yes, Spellworm is there. Spellworm is active. I see Spellworm. Can I just figure it out myself? This is why I just couldn't figure out how to message someone that hadn't seen in chat recently. The Spellworm, I found you. I just sent you a message. You don't need to do it. I got you. Just recording this to make sure it's clear what I did and who I gave the keys to. Done skis. All right. That's all the giveaways we have for you for today. I do have yeah, I got one more thing. I got one more leak to show. I'm gonna do another Monolith here, and then I'll show that leak in a little bit. But I do have one more for you. Oh, we got Judd in the house. Hello. Alright. Are there any plans to make the dot continuous instead of ticks, or is it too difficult to implement? For the most part, it doesn't matter, but recently I made an Aura of Decay Lich build, where theoretically I should have sustained the self-inflicted poison, but individual ticks killed me. Basically, no. Unfortunately, the chances of us changing this are very low. If there's like a consistent, maybe not consistent, but even like semi-frequent time where this type of problem comes up, I could see us reducing the time between the ticks a little bit in certain circumstances. It does have a performance implication. So the longer we can have those apart, the better. But yes, there is having the gameplay be smooth is the most important thing. So if that includes, what am I doing? Push the wrong buttons is what I'm doing. Oh yeah, but if that includes the gameplay problems from having the ticks too far apart, or the performance implications of having them too close together, so we gotta find that sweet spot. And so if you can, if this is something that happens to you more than just like once every month, and you're playing regularly, something if you have like even a remotely consistent setup for the situation happening, something like that on the feedback forums would be a good thread. Something that we can see in reference to and possibly act on. Oh, Mike, where are the questions here? I want a pure zombie pet class. I mean, you can do zombies as your only pets and just run zombies and acolyte. So yeah, have fun. Where do you guys do the character race options later? When you do the character race options later on, please give me a frog race. Frog is awesome on Chrono Trigger. It's funny. So whenever we'd reset the ladders, but this is in our old ladder system, like quite a while ago, before Rogue was even released. I would, whenever I reset the ladders, I would always slap a test character up there from the editor just to make sure. So like, I'd reset the ladders, and the ladders would always start with a level 1 rogue on them. That was always called Frog. As a Chrono Trigger reference, in case that wasn't obvious from context. But yes! Alright. What is a Warlock exactly? Is it a war of locks on doors, or is it something you can explain? Your subclass on Acolyte leaves too much to imagination. Care to specify the theme of the Warlock, please? Yeah, I think I can give a general like feeling theme there, and I think there's Jafar. I think that's a good way to put it. Jafar, just like it's this, and I know this doesn't really give you anything mechanically at all, but thematically, I think that's a really good touchstone for it. What was this? Oh, I give enemies armor shred? Mike, what are you thinking? Endurance, yeah, I mean, we got culling. Endurance is fine. Aha, any news for the next patch? I mean, yeah, there's been a fair bit of news here and there. We don't have any details about it, but if you are looking to find out when the next patch is going to be, that information will be revealed in 4 days' time. In 4 days' time, look to the forums. Look to the Discord. Doesn't really work. I was trying to do like a Gandalf thing. I don't know if this was ever asked. Probably, but it's okay to ask again. Is there any chance for a button to put all of your items on the ground, or some UI change to better show items with some filter tags in inventory? Put all of your items on, like drop all gear from your inventory. I don't think we'd ever put an item like that in the game, just from like the I'm calling. What am I doing? Get in there. Just from the standpoint of like accidentally pressing that at a bad time is like, bah, I just dropped all my gear. What do I do? So I doubt we did implement a drop all gear button. I think there's some room for some quality of life improvements there, though. Like with there's games that do things where you can like tag things as junk, and then like sell all junk. Things like that I think are really nice to do. I don't know if we'll do that specifically, but maybe something like that. And then as far as filters showing in your inventory, that's a really tricky thing to do. We've considered it. We don't have a good way to implement it at the moment, so it's not on the list, unfortunately. Apparently Judd's getting chewed out for not being in bed. Perfect. Perfect. A spiral vortex layout would kind of loop dope for the monolith. Oh, look. See, I'm Sherlock up in here. I'm immediately searching Jafar character breakdown. We're talking about themes, like feels and, you know. Yeah, go ahead, Google away. Have you ever thought about a Total War-like layout for the monolith? No, we haven't. I don't think that sort of things come up. It's been a while since I played a Total War game, though. The last one I played was like, I feel like Total War would be very odd for a monolith layout. I'm talking about like the map view, like where you're like the 4X style view. Your avalanche does not scare me. I missed the. I asked this earlier and I totally missed the reply. I guess I could scroll back all the way to the very beginning of chat, but I'm gonna ask it again. If anyone is here regularly, have you noticed a significant or minor? Have you noticed any difference in the stream quality visually, like like drop frames, lag, just and anything at all, and how it looks from last time? So we made some changes, and I would like to know how impactful they've been. Hopefully, extremely impactful. Maybe not, because I mean it was terrible before. The campaign map layout, yes, your character moved from one location to another. Yeah. I really love this. Like changes something like that, we'd have to redo so much. Like we'd have to redo the visuals on every single art asset in the monolith and the like physical world in the monolith too. Like that's just too big of a change for us to make at this stage. Even if it was something that we're like, yeah, we really want this. That's just too much. This shouldn't apply in town. I wish. I wish. Yeah, crit strike chance is fine. We got crit strike avoidance. Don't you? Or less reduced damage from crit strike, so it doesn't matter. Guild Wars 2 had a Mesmer class. Yeah, I loved the Mesmer so much. It was one of my favorite things. Guild Wars 1 had it too. That was one of the big things I played in Guild Wars 1 was a Mesmer. Just the I'm a terrible blue mage in Magic too, so like I love counterspells, and Mesmer had this counterspell ability where like it just had so many interrupts where you could just stop people from casting, and Guild Wars was so PvP based that like it was just this game of like interrupt, 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 interrupt. So I'm a terrible person. I know. I'm sorry. I'm having an issue with the game crashing. Oh no! Contact support. That'll be your best plan. They'll be able to help you way better than I can. I'll read the rest of your question though. I can play for maybe 30 minutes and then it locks up my entire PC and I have to go to a hard reset. I have a 2070 and a 99. What would be making this happen? I would recommend turning on streamer mode. It will improve stability quite a bit. Other than that, making sure your game's on an SSD, making sure there's, I don't know, not something in the background that's just like consuming all RAM like the Great Devourer of Worlds. Things like that. But if you need more help, please contact support. They'll be able to do a lot more for you than I will. Stream is blurry for me, but I most likely do need to reload the stream. But I know in the spoilers if I do, just leave it. Oh my gosh, we're over time, aren't we? We're over time. Oh goodness me! I didn't even notice. I've been having such a great time. This happens every once in a while on stream, and I just like lose track of time. We're gonna finish this echo though. Come on. Of course it's not this way, Mike. You know what level this is. What about beard oil for boosting game speed? Out of world things like that we generally like to avoid. So stuff that like doesn't make sense to be in the game world. Oh, did they have beard oil long ago? I doubt it. Maybe though. Yes, less rendering lag. Nice. Graphics look a bit more budget, but overall is good. Really? Okay. Any plans for cross progression between characters in a cycle? there's sort of a inherent cross progression that happens with gear, but I understand that you actually mean like Monolith and dungeon unlocks and things like that. And we're not planning on it right now. It's still like still a topic that gets brought up every once in a while, but that progression through through the Monolith and is kind of important to the character progression and learning that character. And it's much less of an issue for people who they're on their 20th character than someone who's on their 3rd character. I almost went back for another one. I almost did it. Okay, we're gonna bring this up, and I'm gonna answer some questions while it's up here. Oh, concept art for a little baddie boy. When I first brought this up into the into Streamlabs to put up on stream, there's like a preview for it, and I was replacing another image that I guess I'd scaled up really high, and this is a pretty high res image. So when I put it on there, the only thing I could see was that chicken. Does it show it? I guess my cursor's not shown on screen. I don't know, but the chicken that's like below the word news was like all I could see on my whole screen preview, and I'm like, ah! It startled me. It's giant. Yeah. All right. A couple more questions. Mike confirms Mesmer for Warlock. We got it. Aaron, I love you reading into stuff, but no. Thanks for the stream, Mike. I miss you. Hope IRL calms down so I can be an LED gen again. Me too, bud. Good to see you again. Lastly, please, I'm on it. You're welcome. Gates? Gates? I don't know how to pronounce him. The 2 eyes there messing me up. It's the cursed parrot. This must be Jafar's parrot. Alright. Well, I had a great stream. I hope you all did too. Keep an eye on our Discord, Reddit, forums, all those things for more information. Tuesday will be an announcement. If you do have any more questions that I was unable to answer today, please head on over to any of those platforms as well, and I'd be happy to answer those questions going throughout the week, or I'll be back here again, same time, same place next week. The studio will be taking a break over Christmas, so there's between Christmas and New Year's, sort of there'll be a couple streams in there missed, I believe. Early warning system, but I'm gonna try to keep these going as much as possible throughout all of that. Yeah, I've got something still there. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for coming out. I hope you had fun. I know I did. I hope we go and say hi to someone. Let's go say hi to someone. Who should we go say hi to? Someone whose name sounds a little bit like a Star Trek race. Let's go give them a high five. Say how's it going. See you later.